Hello again everybody, Sebastian here with another Watch Your Realms video. In this one, I'm going to show you some GvG battles that I encountered last week, whether it was in the global or the Forerunner server, just to kind of give you an idea of what the formations that I'm seeing, being in the Overlord ranks, and how we were able to counter them. And so that's what I picked 10 battles to kind of show you exactly how that went. There were some fails, there were some successes, so that's all that counts when we're doing this type of content in the game. Let me also take the opportunity here to plug my new home in the global server, which is the Rising Horde. Feel free to come by, join if you just want to hang around, or if you think that you have what it takes to battle in the Overlord ranks, put in an application, see if you can join the Rising Horde and battle with me and my new guild leader, Destin. Yes, you all know Destin, not hard to miss. All right, so before we get started, please stay tuned for this special message. Today's video is sponsored by Marble Strike Force, heroes, villains, and strategists. This is your moment. Download Marble Strike Force now using the special link in the description of this video, or scan the QR code to jump into battle. Recruit iconic Marble characters in this action-packed squad RPG. You form an ultimate team, you master strategic combat, and then face legendary threats like Doctor Doom and Apocalypse. So power up heroes and villains from the Marble multiverse. This month, new characters are entering the battlefield. So be on the lookout for the brand new Liberty team featuring Peggy Carter, Joaquin's Falcon, Patriot, and Sam Wilson's Captain America. But act fast, these heroes are only available for a limited time. And as a special bonus, they're giving away a free character. Use the promo code SAM to unlock Sam Wilson's Captain America for free. Here he is, Sam Wilson's Captain America. You can see I have him geared. He's ready to go into battle. So here I'm having him in a team up with two other Avengers, Mockingbird and Black Widow. And so what we are going to show you here is, here's Sam Wilson. So as you can see, his special move, one of them is to essentially provide protection to his allies, because he will taunt one of his enemies, and he will also give defense up to allies on his team. And if they fit a certain class, he will additionally even give them more buffs to those particular allies. So let's taunt somebody here. So we're going to target that hero, and as you can see there, now everybody, he gains all those buffs, and now he's taking the hits for everybody, protecting everybody around him. And here's his primary attack, and there you go, he takes him out. So don't wait, download Marble Strike Force now using the link in the description, or scan the QR code. Build your squad, claim Sam Wilson's Captain America, and dominate the battlefield before time runs out. Thank you to Marble Strike Force for sponsoring today's video. All right, so let's get started. Here's the first one. This is an Esotericist team that we saw. So essentially what we're going to try to do here is to try to swarm it. So that's exactly what I'm going to try to do here. And also the first thing that I noticed from the formation is I, right? So I is in this platform here. So my first inclination was maybe we can sniper off the platform with the Garden Guard. So that's essentially what you're going to see me here do. And then you can I kind of made sure that you can kind of see where I'm deploying the hero or the demon soldiers, and then the cost that in which I did it, so you can kind of get an idea of the timings that I use for this. So here we go. So we just want to start getting some of the ice crystals out of the way here, and just send the forerunners to take the hits from both Boreas and Nora. And essentially the forerunners are clearing the way for the Garden Guard, so they don't get stuck. So they do try to, they hit the tank a couple of times. They do get a couple of shots on eye. Fortunately, my Garden Guards were strong enough to take that eye down. Now, of course, with Warriors, we kind of have that anti-healing effect going on as well, but I still brought my healers in just to make sure that the Pharaohs had enough uptime, right, for this. If you cannot get your Pharaohs to stay engaged and take block from Cyrus, this swarm tactic is not going to work. So that's exactly what we did there. So once we were able to clear I, get her out of the way, it became really easy to counter that. All right, kind of a similar strategy here that we saw with this one. So this is one where I'm encountering a Sun Wukong and an Ajax, and I did try to swarm it, but in this one I did it without a healer. So this is kind of just me experimenting or trying to see what we can do. And this Ingrid, so you can kind of see the build from Wukong right away. It's going to be a very tanky Wukong. So we're not gonna, we're not gonna bring mages or anything to try to snipe them off. I think that we all have a pretty good idea, at least in this type of ranks, or this type of, the rank and the Overlord rank, that people are going to build that fighter very tanky, because if you don't, it's just gonna be taken out too easy. So here I'm sending the Pharaohs in, and this is one where I did not use the healer, so you can kind of see that they are struggling a little bit. And so at the end, the swarm didn't really quite work, and they did get stuck. So at least for this one, yeah, it just, it wasn't, it didn't make sense for me to go on. So I kind of tried it on another one. The only difference in the setup, of course, is where Wukong is located. But I already wasted a chance on that defense. Of course, there was, you don't want to go and waste another chance. So I just went and looked for another similar type of defense, and I tried doing it again. And then you can see here that this time I am going to deploy some healers to try to help the Pharaohs out a little bit. So let's release the Necros. Hopefully the healer can get there in time before the Pharaoh goes down. So now he's throwing some heals there. And now the whole thing that I'm watching for is to make sure that Ajax's ultimate is not in our way. So I just send the dogs out, and there we go. We brought it down. So conceptually, now we have kind of a plan on how to counter these type of defenses. Okay, here's another one. This one, so these type of formations we were really intrigued to see, because not only is Magda here, you can see her, she's not facing towards Regulus, she's facing over to Ingrid, and I think this is just their idea of giving her increased penetration and boosting her damage. It's essentially what they're doing. And then if we try to dog rush it, of course she's going to flip around and her ultimate is going to go off. In this case here, there's a Mary up here for control. Maybe their idea is to make sure that they are preventing the swarm. Now, what I can tell you from this, though, is that the idea here is to go after Regulus. So this first one here is that I'm going to show you is essentially the one that I flubbed. But the idea is still there, right? So let me let's just let this play. So you can kind of see Ingrid. I know I'm kind of in the way, so let me flip myself down a little bit. There we go. So now you can kind of see what Ingrid is doing, and Mary's just standing there. So I was able to take Regulus out. Now here's the thing, though, is that I had the idea. So I'm gonna release mages and I'm gonna release the Pharaohs, but I did lose track of time, unfortunately. So the idea here now is to activate Magda's ultimate and also try to switch Ingrid's timing. But then you can see by the clock, I waited too long. I waited too long to release the dogs. So that didn't work out like I planned it. But fortunately, there was another defense that I could do the same thing with. Now this one, instead of a Mary, had agreed. So now let's just play this out again. And now you're going to see it, how everything worked out like it was supposed to. So it's all in the timings. If you don't get the timings right, you're going to lose. All right, so there goes my mom. We're going to send out the axe slaughterers just to try to get Regulus out of the way. And there we go. We triggered Lily's passive. Now he's gonna go down. Luckily, he goes down before Ingrid is able to take us out of the way. So now I'm gonna release the Furore a little bit early. And I'm gonna watch his health as well. Because the point of the Furore is to activate Magda's ultimate and also switch the mode of Ingrid. So here we go. Now I don't have a healer, so this Furore should go down really quick. There we go. Now I have the Furore that can take the block, and there goes the dogs. Perfect. That's how it was supposed to work from the beginning. All right, this one here, I'm gonna say don't try this at home. This one was essentially what we saw is that it was just Mary, right? So we only really had Valk and Ingrid to deal with. So what's the idea here? First is to try to see if we can switch over the Ingrid's mode. So this is why we're only releasing one. One flyer. Okay, now here, the idea here, look, now we have set up the wall with the 4 daggers, and then I just sent all the dogs in, and luckily my dogs lasted long enough to get through Valk. All right, so this is a popular keep defense that we saw early on, especially here with Pradius or somebody like Ingrid, or in this case here is going to be Ajax. But the goal here is to try to get through Constance. So that's exactly what we tried to do on this one. So let's try to set up the swarm and see if it works. Right. So I'm gonna use the full to get ultimates out of the way, or at least get him activated. And the second full is going to work towards protecting the Furore. So here we go. All right. So now let's release. So we have one of the Furore's shield. Now he can take some of the hits. Now we're going to release the other one because we want to set up the wall. In this case, I did bring in the healers instead of trying to just send the Necros out and then speed them up. So you can kind of see how everything is building there. So let's send out the other Necro. So yeah, so I did this, at least in this case, we did split up the Necros for this one. So you can kind of see things piling up. So now what I'm keeping an eye on is Ajax's ultimate. So let's release the dogs and then let's see what we can do here. So Pradius did catch a couple of the dogs. So we didn't get every single one of them to go through. We did get one in, and we're going to get one of these Furores in. And there we go. And that was it. So I could only muster to get 2 out of 3 in. So we technically did lose this battle, but we were close. So it's a matter of RNG, and that's what happened. So we got at least 2 out of that. Now let's go on to this one here. So, okay, so on this one here, the idea here, again, this is a very popular nightmare composition. Okay, everybody likes, especially when it comes to Ajax and Hatsuit here, right? And then we have Constance here. Now the thing is that when somebody puts Hatsuit in this vulnerable position here, you wonder if maybe she has the chalice, and then of course she's gonna get soul essence right away from Carnelian. So I decided not to even tinker around with Garner Guards on this one, so I just decided I'm gonna try to get through Toreador. Okay, so I'm gonna send one of the knights out and then send a set of daggers and axe slaughterers, so you can kind of see that I got rid of one of Toreador's life. So I'm just gonna repeat the process again. So let's send those out. And now this is the RNG part here. I have to kill Torlor. If I don't kill Torlor, this run is done. So that's what I'm keeping an eye on here. And there goes Torlor. That's all I needed. Now everything is opened up. So I'm gonna send my archers. Now I can just toy around trying to get rid of Hatsuit. And let's close it out. There we go. That's how that one was done. So we were done with that one. All right, so this one here again is one that I did see Emirate in here with warriors. So I just tried to see if at least for this example here, it wasn't so much about the necros. In this one, we did kind of toy around a little bit, and we tried to scorch this. Okay, so the idea here was to try to kill warriors or Emirate with the scorches if I could get him through. But unfortunately, as you will see with the RNG, it didn't really quite kick in the way that I wanted. Right, so we don't have any healers here. So we're really dependent all on the Feroz lasting for a while. All right, so here we go. We have Emirate, we have Warriors. So now I'm gonna release the Scourges. So there they go. And a lot of this idea too came from, we knew that Warriors was not protected by a healer. So if we could get him out of the way, maybe we can swarm it in. All right, so I'm gonna send a first batch of crawlers in. And then I'm gonna time the dogs here. This was the first idea here. And so we tried to kill Emirate. We didn't really. He's a tanky Emirate. That was the unfortunate part. Now, here's the thing, as you notice, is we got warriors out of the way. All right. So now the whole thing was just to try to see if I could get the rest of the dogs in. But Emirate's ultimate came back around really quick. So you can kind of see we already got somebody through. So somebody did go through. So at this point, I just decided, okay, I'm going to send the rest of the crawlers out and then try to speed them up. But again, I could only get one of them through. So I guess for this, yeah, so everybody else got caught up in the middle there. So we only got two out of 3 on that one. But in terms of methodology, we think we had it. But I think that in the end, if I were to go back to the drawing board, I probably would have used the necro strategy for this. Scourges are good to use. They can be used. It's just that it's really hard to complement them sometimes based on the other ones. So, but at least we were able to get warriors. So it's doable. If you don't see those platforms being protected with healers, you can take them out with scourges if that is something that you want to try to do. So I'm gonna leave you all with this last battle here. This is one that I encountered in Forerunners. You can kind of see the levels of the demon soldiers here, and this one is one of the popular ones that we used to see in other maps. This is a northern camp with Maul and Valkyra, so essentially it's just to slow things down. But in for this case here, what I decided to do was to send in Ma, complement them over with the Knights and the Feroz, so they take up room, and then we're gonna send the doggos out. All right, so that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you all very much for tuning in and watching. Feel free to let me know in the comment section if there's a specific defense that you want me to try to showcase. I can go try to look for it and see if we can come up with a plan. But that's kind of what we're seeing early on here in terms of Season 7 GvG. And eventually down the line, we're going to find some meta defenses in the ones that are becoming very repetitive. But I do imagine that at some point, we'll be able to counter those as well. All right. See you all in the next video. Please remember to hit like and subscribe on your way out.